Hello, friends. Your old pal Brett here, Adventurous Gardener. I hope all of you are having a really fantastic new year and that you're all in the best possible health. And, I don't know. This is like the fifth take. I don't know if I can do it again. I'm really trying here. When I started this channel, I had big dreams. I'm a big thinker, and I've always been a big adventurer. Hop in the car, drive 1,000 miles on the weekend just for fun. Drive 24, 36 hours straight, meet strangers all over the country, see beautiful things, go to, incredible places. And I wanted to bring all of you on those adventures with me. Life had a different plan, though. And without going into too much detail, basically I'm making the best of my current state of health. And yeah, it's funny, the things we take for granted, are from everything from our ability to, walk and talk, if you have those abilities, to, just waking up and being able to generally feel good. When those things are taken away from you due to, a neurological problem or a state of dis-ease, also known as disease, it just reminds you that you have to be grateful for what you have now. It's a very cliche thing to say, but, if you're not living in a state of gratitude, then all I can say is I suggest you start, because anything can happen at any time. I'm wearing a heart monitor right now for the third time. Apparently I have some sort of neurological defect that causes my heart to stop if I turn my head the wrong way. If you've been watching my channel, then you know when I made the winter video a year ago, I almost fell to my death in a waterfall accidentally because I lost consciousness as I was trying to climb up off an icy ledge. It was terrifying, and doctors had no idea what was going on, at least not the ones I had been seeing at the time. A few of them even said that, what happened wasn't possible, and it's taken it's taken a long time to find the right doctors, but I went to one a couple days ago who squinted his eyes at me and he said, "I'm really sorry it took so long for anybody to recognize, what..." Oh, a fire truck. He said, "I'm sorry it took so long for us to realize what was going on with your heart, but maybe I shouldn't go to the park." No, I have to keep on pushing. They said, just keep on doing whatever you do. It's terrifying getting into a vehicle and driving or going somewhere alone in the middle of the woods. I didn't think anything of it years ago. I'd hop in the car and go wherever I wanted to go. You may notice I'm in a different vehicle right now. I had to trade in a vehicle that had absolutely nothing wrong with it, my amazing Toyota Prius plug-in hybrid, and get a larger vehicle because I could no longer physically get into the car or out of it. I don't do much driving anymore. The park is only a couple miles away, and I desperately want to get out there. It's 32 degrees right now, but the sun is shining. There's blue sky. I absolutely cannot wait to feel the sun on my skin. Once you know what it's like to be unable to move for 3 or 4 months straight, you know, once you know what it's like to have your legs fail you and for them to go numb, once you know what it feels like to have your heart stop and to deal with the aftermath of that, I mean, I was always appreciative of nature and the outdoors, but now more than ever, you just don't know. You just don't know. So, with that being said, take a ride with me, and let's go check out some beautiful things. Let's make the best of this cool, sunny winter day. So I made it to the park last time, and my chest started hurting immediately. I had to turn around and go home. This time I decided it would be smarter to bring my lovely assistant, Jess.
Hello.
We're gonna walk the road this time because it's a little easier and see what we can see from here. Just take it in, take a deep breath. All right. Made it back to the car. My chest. Remember what I said earlier about not taking anything for granted or life itself? Oh man, I don't feel good. Do what you can while you can. And never stop, never give up the fight. Just keep going. The pond's looking real nice today. Well, what do we have here? Oh, hello there. Very cool. You guys catching some rays, huh? Getting a little bit of sunshine. They look like they're having a good old time. Oh, are you coming up here? Oh, no, getting cozy. Another fine day in the garden. Beautiful blue skies, the sun is out. I've turned on the pond pump so we can aerate the pond for the fish and maybe break up a little bit of that winter ice. And we're going to try something that I've never done before because there are some large sugar maples on the property, one of which is the one directly behind the house here where I have all the bird feeders set up. And I've got the perfect place to tap into the tree
right about here. So we'll go ahead and get a spile put in there and hang our bucket. And maybe we'll get to make our own maple syrup.
I would just like to take a walk around the back garden briefly and see what things might be budding out already. I apologize if the road noise or the sound of the waterfall is louder than me talking. I'm going to try and mitigate that the best I can, but I turned the waterfall on about an hour ago. I like to just get some circulation throughout the season on warm days like this. So the pink lemonade blueberry bushes are already budding out pretty nicely. See if you can see that on the camera. This is a nice tall one. I'm over 6 feet and it's up to my face, so we're looking at about a 5-foot, bush there. There was another one right here. This is doing the same thing, budding out very nicely. I pruned out all of the dead stuff at the end of last season, so they have a nice fresh start. The yellow delicious apple trees got absolutely annihilated last season by I guess black spot on the apples, and maybe the cedar rust got to it. We do have a cedar tree right there, maybe a couple of them there. The tree seems to be quite healthy right now though, and again, last year we got one apple that was edible, kind of, but this will be the second year that they're in the ground, as well as those blueberry bushes, so hopefully fruit production, picks up this year. I wouldn't mind 2 or 3 apples maybe. This is the purple smoke bush. They have nice figure and nice character even in the winter when there isn't any color on them. It's still a really interesting plant to look at. Something you cannot see from here is that I dug out the banana that we had. It wasn't labeled when I purchased it. It was about yay big. So I dug it out, potted it, brought it into the living room over winter. And sorry, you gotta bear with me. Heart pains and shortness of breath. It's surviving next to the wood stove. I mist it frequently and give it plenty of water. The growth has slowed down to a halt right now, but it's about 3 feet tall, I'd say. So I'm looking forward to planting that once we get out of the frost season. That's gonna go back into here, into my, if you know, this was the poison garden. This is all plants that you can't eat or touch for the most part. But the banana lives right there because it's kind of nice having that grow up next to the water feature here. And it's not going to produce any edible fruits regardless. It's a Musa Basju variety, I believe. Like I said, it wasn't labeled upon purchase, but doing some research and trying to identify it, that's what I came up with. The potted juniper here next to the waterfall has turned a little bit
golden-ish in the off season, but I don't have any worries. I think it's going to be nice and green once the warm weather arrives, and it's here to stay. This tree snapped in half a few years back, and it grew a new leader up there on the left hand side, but all the branches have died up to the top, so now I had to I limbed it up as far as I could reach, and now we have a palm pine tree, which is kind of hilarious. And you know what, that's just gonna add a little bit more interest to the garden. The hummingbirds seem to love landing there, so I'm not gonna take it down. We're just gonna see how it continues to grow through the seasons. This is the third pink lemonade blueberry bush. This one has buds now. This doesn't get nearly as much sunlight or water as the other two down below do. They're kind of down near the house over there. As well, the soil up here is very poor. Excuse me. You can tell by the amount of moss here that the soil's acidic though, so I tend to think that this will do well once it gets established, as long as it can get enough moisture. The tree that we transplanted last year, I believe the name of it was Pearl. Some of you may remember when we did this project, but Pearl's looking mighty fine. Plenty of sunshine during the winter months. I don't see, I mean, I guess it's starting to develop very tiny buds, but very, very early for that. It's not really as far along as the blueberries are naturally. We're gonna go collect our maple sap right now. It's beautiful out again today. And oh, the sap has already started flowing. We have a little drip there, you see that? Drip right there. Okay, so we will transfer it here. Okay. There's bucket number one. We'll go ahead and empty this. This one's not flowing yet. It looks like it's very close to flowing though. The spile is full and ready to drip, so we'll empty our second one down here. Okay, Get that set back up and then on to the third. Our third and final one is actually right next to the road here. Wasn't really fond of tapping a tree in this location, but this is a low spot on the property that collects a ton of water, so I am guessing this is going to have the most sap in it, actually. We'll see in a moment here. This is, it might be the most. We have an ant in there. Go ahead, buddy. And we got a couple other little bugs and things. That's all right, we'll filter them out. Okay, bucket number 3. Go ahead and get that sap back up and bring it inside. Well, I've been advised to use some cheesecloth to filter out the contaminants in our sap before boiling. So we're going to go ahead and filter that and start the boil. Okay, it's been about a half an hour now. We've got our maple sap at a steady boil here. It's about 9:15 in the morning. We're going to time this event and see how long it takes to reduce this down into the maple syrup. Okay, we're 1 hour in and it looks like we've boiled off about 2 quarts of sap at least, maybe 2.5. We've got a ways to go here, but we're making good progress for 1 hour in. Alright, this is hour number 3. We're getting down to the bottom here. Now, if we're talking 40 to 1 or so, we're only going to end up with about 6 ounces of syrup off of the 8+ quarts we started with of sap. But this is where we're at on hour number 3. I missed a step in filming there. The moment when the sap turned into syrup was very obvious because it began to boil vigorously and bubble, I should say. I strained it through some cheesecloth and we have our very first batch of homemade maple syrup. Now, I did add about 1.5 quart more sap during the boiling process, so I'm gonna say a total of 9.5, maybe 10 quarts of maple sap was boiled down. And this is a pint-size mason jar, so that's a bit over half full, if you see there. But that was the result of just 10 quarts of sap. Thank you all for watching.